What's up, guys? Mainly Hockey Cards here, and today we're looking at all 50 Young Guns from this year's 2024-25 Upper Deck Series 2 Hockey. I will give a value potential letter rating from F to A for each card. In general, I see Fs as cards to stay away from, Ds as players with limited to no potential for value, Cs as players that are on the fringe of having more value but look more like depth players, Bs as players that have increasing potential but may have inconsistencies or uncertainties, and A's as players that are the highlights of the product and have the highest potential value ceiling. It is important to note I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence and research before investing in anything or anyone. 2024-25 Upper Deck Series 2. Let's get underway. Macklin Celebrini is arguably the best rookie of the product and a front-runner for the Calder Trophy. He's turning into an elite talent already in his first NHL season. A+. Brian Halonen is a 26-year-old forward that has had a cup of coffee with the Devils and has been a steady producer in the AHL. D+. Patrik Koch is a 28-year-old defenseman who has since returned to the Czech League. F. Brandon Scanlin is a 25-year-old depth defenseman with little offensive upside. D. Cameron Butler is a 22-year-old prospect of the Blue Jackets who hasn't done much at the pro level. C-. Maksymilian Szuber is a 22-year-old defenseman who has put together two modest AHL seasons to date. He likely turns into a depth option on the blue line. C-. Georgi Romanov is a goaltending prospect for the Sharks who has performed remarkably in limited action at the NHL level and has had two solid seasons in the AHL. B-. Raty is a 23-year-old winger who has had a steep fall-off in production at the AHL level compared to last season. C. Ethan Cardwell is a 22-year-old forward who has taken a big step forward in the AHL this season and has had one goal in 6 NHL games. B-. Adam Klapka is a 24-year-old forward with steady production in the AHL and 2 goals in his first 19 NHL games. C+. Oliver Kapanen is a 21-year-old forward who has 2 points in his first 12 NHL games and was almost a point per game in the SHL. Comes from a family of NHLers. B. Nikita Prishchepov is a recently turned 21-year-old forward for the Avalanche who appeared in 10 games this season with no points and is half a point per game in the AHL. C+. Maxim Tsyplakov is a 26-year-old winger who was a prize from the KHL this past offseason. He's been a steady contributor for the Islanders, but I think they're hoping to see more in the future. B-. Victor Mancini is a 22-year-old defenseman who was a nice surprise for the Rangers after a strong preseason and played decently in 15 NHL games, picking up 5 points before being traded to Vancouver. C+. Oscar Bach has had a decent rookie season in the NHL with 13 points in 55 games and looks like he could be a valuable contributor in the middle six of Dallas's lineup going forward. B. Nikolai Kovalenko, another former KHL standout, has had 16 points in his first 47 NHL games. Though similar to Tsyplakov, he is a few years younger and I feel warrants a slightly higher grade. He's a little bit of a more exciting player. B. Declan Carlisle is a 24-year-old defenseman who likely tops out as a depth option or reliable AHL defender. D+. Jack Thompson is a 22-year-old defenseman for the Sharks who has put up a respectable 6 points in his first 26 NHL games. C+. Logan Morrison is a 22-year-old center who has had 2 solid AHL seasons and has not done much in limited NHL action. C+. Jackson Blake is a 21-year-old center who has had 22 points in his first 63 NHL games. One of the stronger rookies of this crop, to be honest. B+. Phil Kemp is a 26-year-old defenseman who looks to top out as a depth option or reliable AHL defender. D-. Vasily Ponomarev is a young forward in the Penguins organization who has shown consistency in scoring at the AHL level and has provided a couple points over a couple games in the NHL. He will likely get more shots in a Pens uniform. B-. Devin Cooley is a 27-year-old netminder who has put together several respectable AHL campaigns and has had a disastrous start to his NHL career with San Jose. Goalies can get hot and develop differently, though, but a C- for now. Rutger McGroarty is a high-caliber offensive prospect for the Penguins. He's had a good first pro season and is coming off a terrific collegiate career. The Penguins have high expectations, and rightfully so. A-. Albert Johansson is a young defenseman for the Red Wings who has most tools that one would want in a defenseman, and I think he could be a staple inside the Red Wings' top 4 in the near future. C+. Patrick Giles is a 25-year-old forward that looks to max out as a fringe NHL forward. D+. Callum Ritchie is one of the better rookies from this crop, and excited Avalanche fans in limited time this season before being returned to juniors, B+. Connor Geekie, like Callum Ritchie, is another one of the better rookies in this product and has 12 points in 49 NHL games this season as a 20-year-old, B+. Daniil Misiol looks to be a future depth defenseman and or fringe NHL defenseman with limited offensive upside, D+. Zachary Leroux is described as a very physical and agitating player that also has offensive tools. That is very desirable in today's NHL, and he's had a decent rookie season with 12 points in 49 games. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on, B. Ivan has 2 first names, which is pretty cool, but he's also good at hockey. 8 points in 40 NHL games and looks to be trending in the right direction in a place that brings the most out of their players, B. Andre Lee has 3 points in his first 19 NHL games and looks to be a player developing into a depth option at forward, C. Joel Blomqvist had 2 good AHL seasons, but has struggled for Pittsburgh in a sampling of NHL action. He is still young by a goalie's timeline, B. Jet Luchenko is very much a dark horse player from this crop. He is only 18 years old, played a small sample of NHL games, and is having another terrific OHL campaign, A-. Samuel Honzek is a recently turned 20-year-old winger who has had a modest first pro season and looks to grow into his frame with time, B+. Matt Steenberg is a 24-year-old centerman who looks to be a future depth forward or consistent AHL player, D+. Maverick Lamoureux is a recently turned 21-year-old defenseman who has impressed at both the AHL and NHL levels this season. If he is able to grow into his size and continue to progress offensively, I think Utah may have a gem on their hands, B. Drew Comesso is a 22-year-old goaltender who has played modestly at the professional level, but brings a bevy of success from college, the Olympics, and juniors. Someone to keep an eye on, B. Seamus Casey is a highly touted young defenseman for the Devils who has 4 goals and an assist in his first 10 NHL games. He has the potential to be a high-end puck-moving defenseman, B+. Alexei Kolosov is a young Flyers prospect that has struggled mightily adjusting to the North American game in both the AHL and NHL. However, he could just be a case of needing further development, B-. Nolan Allen is a 21-year-old defenseman who excels on the defensive end of the rink, but leaves some to be desired on offense, C. Matvei Michkov is the other highlight rookie of the product alongside Macklin Celebrini, and he hasn't disappointed in his rookie season one bit. Big things to come for the future superstar, A+. Brandon Bussey is a 26-year-old goaltender who has put together a string of solid AHL seasons, but just hasn't gotten a chance in the NHL yet, B-. Isaac Poulter is a 23-year-old goaltending prospect of the New Jersey Devils who has had a few decent AHL seasons, but looks to still need some time to develop, C. Noah Philp is a 26-year-old winger who has 2 points in his first 12 NHL games, but has been a steady contributor at the AHL level, C. These teammate young guns are new this year. I don't know how much value they'll hold. B for this one. B for Mailloux and Hudson. C+ for Zellweger and Gauthier. B for Celebrini Smith. And checklists are checklists are checklists. C+. Overall, I think that's a rough checklist highlighted by 2 monster rookies. If you hit, you hit. As always, this video took a ton of time and research. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Here's an overview of the entire class. It will also be listed down below in the video description. Enjoy Series 2. Good luck with your rips and peace.